support with my heart's blood any action to safeguard the purity of white civilization.
Roots and Roots the Next Generation is a true story of Alex Haley's life.
You old African!
We had no way of dealing with slavery. And suddenly, Alex found a way.
Hold your horses, I got me a dumb nigger making trouble.
No one really knew what the response was going to be from the audience when Roots was first presented.
I got the right to vote.
It was so successful that we decided to continue the story, and everyone was talking about Roots.
Roots, the Next Generation, was a continuation of Roots. The first Roots only told you the story from the beginning up to the end of the Civil War. The second part goes from there to Alex Haley's life. So the big success of the first show is let's continue the story. And so we did for 14 more hours with Roots, the Next Generation.
I was the continuing factor in terms of the family.
My grandmama used to tell me a tale about the old African who calls himself Kinte.
Tom linked the family between leaving and reaching Henning, Tennessee, where the saga continued.
Sweet Jesus, Tom, that old African, he lived 100 years ago. Now what did he know about these days?
You know his name. Kunta Kinte.
Roots was extraordinary material, particularly for actors of color.
America finally will get a good dish, a good meal of that phenomenon of being black in America.
Everyone wanted to be a part of Roots.
Papa, it isn't a liaison, you understand? Carrie and I are married. I love her.
As far as I'm concerned, the mark is on you. You are a nigger.
When you have people like Henry Fonda and Olivia de Havilland wanting to be a part of it because they were so moved by the first part.
Mama, I do wish that someday you would call when she's here.
Oh, it's very difficult, Jimmy. Your father'd never forgive me if he knew I came at all.
I know that the second generation, I and Marlon Brando, wanted very much to be a part of it.
I got a call one day from Marlon Brando. He hears that we're doing a sequel to Roots, he'd like to have a part in it, but he wants to play a villain. Do I have any villainous parts? I said, do I have a villain for you, Marlon? Boy, do I have a villain for you. How about George Lincoln Rockwell, the head of the Nazi Party?
You're an intelligent person. I enjoy talking to you. But then you're not pure black. There must have been some white man in your background. Am I right?
Right. I was sitting across from one of the greatest talents in the world, you know, in the history of acting since Stanislavski. And it was a matter of just hanging on, you know, hanging on for dear life.
George Sanford Brown was one of the top actors in the Roots series, Roots the Next Generation. George directed, as you know, one of this episode.
This was my first big directing break. I was given the opportunity to sort of lead this particular episode. If you look down the list of the actors that participated in Roots the Next Generation, fabulous list of very professional, talented people coming in as the new director. They gave me a hell of a lot of support. You can't talk about Roots and Alex Haley and everyone else unless you also talk about the fabulous producer we had, Stan Margulies.
Stan is the best producer that I know in the business. I've said it for 40 years of my life, I still say it. He is somebody who has a great script knowledge, has a personality that can deal with actors and crazy directors, and has taste. And everyone, all those three things make Stan a great producer.
Haley, Alex Haley, I'm a writer.
James Earl Jones had the advantage of knowing Alex Haley, so it was easy for him to portray him because he knew the character he was portraying.
I suppose every black actor in America, or maybe in the world, when he read the autobiography of Malcolm X, wanted to meet Alex. I got on a plane in the middle of a 4-foot snowstorm and somehow got up to Rome, New York, where Alex Haley lived. No taxis, and I found my way from the airport to his house. Knocked on the door, and I said, "Mr. Haley, I just read your book." He says, "Come in." And that's how we met.
My personal experience with Alex started 11 years prior to our doing Roots. I was on my first film in southern France, of which James Earl Jones was one of the members of the cast. And he introduced me to this gentleman who was passing through on his way to Africa, doing some research on his family, and that was Alex Haley.
Wouldn't it be a hoot, though, if we could go back and find the old guy himself, that ghost from all these evenings here on the porch, old Kente?
Alex loved to talk, and he could go on for hours and hours. He was the storyteller.
If you read in the Playboy interviews, you saw a personality there who was persistent, dogged. You could confront the devil and have an interview.
All of my family members whom you have seen depicted in this television dramatization either were or are actual living human beings. We were deeply moved to see the book and film of Roots become perceived worldwide as synonymous with family.
Family is a very large thing. I think Alex was exploring how large it really was.
The family staying together. Every year there is a new audience that's introduced to it. What a wonderful thing. This will go on forever. What a learning tool. What a lesson.
One day, you'll tell the story of this family to your family.
The best stories are told because you're drawn by mystery. What greater mystery than that 3 words that came down through your ancestry, and you want to know what they mean.
Do you recognize these words? Cambe Balongo. Ko.
The stories that you tell today can go on and live forever. If nothing else, Roots awakened that in all of us.
The whole story of Roots and Roots the Next Generation is how people can rise above difficult situation if they put their mind to it and they really want to do something. Any situation can be defeated. And Alex Haley certainly, and his family certainly rise above the most difficult starts you can imagine.